I don't know what the yelping noise that was, but we won't go and investigate. Right, evening everyone. Obviously the NSS for the second assignment. I've been looking at the group discussion and unfortunately my phone is in the room getting charged. Can I see how are the groups going? How are the groups getting together and doing their thing? Is everyone in a group? Has everyone joined a group? Oh, very cool, Tyler. Okay, Jess, you've got your group. Wonderful news. Anyone a lone wolf at this stage? Anyone not know they have to be in a group? Okay. Right, Tanya, you sorted. Anil, you sorted. Okay. Guys, if you're not in the group, remember, if you're not in a group, my apologies. We've got the WhatsApp group for that and sort yourselves out. I've done it slightly different tonight. For the first time ever, I've actually prepared for an NSS, which is as surprising to me as it is to you. I will load this for you. I normally just wing this. Oh, that's wonderful. Guys, obviously, this doesn't allow me to turn it into PowerPoint, but you'll see what I've done this time, and I just need to get to the first one, is for each of the questions, at the end of the question, I've given you where to find the answer, both in the slides that I have as well as the textbook. I'm so proud of myself right now. I might actually jump up and down out of excitement. The last time I did it, I put my back out. So maybe I'll put that aside. Right. So, guys, in terms of the case study, to just say this is one of my favorite case studies. Six pack, wonderful, Walter, wonderful. Just email it. Just email it. Extra 50. Thank you so much, Tanya. Guys, this is one of my favorite case studies. I really thought it works well with the questions. I don't know how it's gone your side, but it really is a pleasant one to have worked on. Right. So it talks about the need to be considered a strategic leader, but it talks on here the 6 requirements. So you'll see the answers are there. Generally, you would have to download this assignment from VC Learn and from the WhatsApp group. Yeah, I'll put it on VC Learn. I think somebody might have a moment if I do that. I'll put it on now. I'll put it on the WhatsApp group. I think, guys, that might be a safer option. Okay, so in terms of the strategic leader, oh gosh, yes, it is Learning Unit 3, Theme 3, Slide 10. So, my gosh, this is impressive. I have this warm feeling inside right now. And guys, it is there, and you can see the page number as well. So when we look at what it means to operate as a strategic leader, the first one is to be able to read the environment, to understand the environment, to understand the various intricacies that make up the environment. And it's an interesting environment, in particular in relation to the case study, because it is one of those environments that people can go wrong very quickly, considering the future that hydrogen vehicles might hold. It is also about personal leadership, guys, and it is really about walking the talk. It is about being authentic. It is about showing the right guidance in terms of creating the vision, and I'll talk about that as well. The third one is to see how the different elements of the business connect together to create the opportunities to give life to the vision that this person will create. And then we talk about this idea of a shared understanding. The shared understanding will always take its lead from the vision, but it's also about making sure that we don't stagnate. You'll remember we did stuff on absorptive capacity and adaptive capacity as part of this module, but it is the learning and creating teams that will make a real difference. So if we look at the case study, it is really about this kind of behavior. Hi, Ongs. How are you? Guys, and then just also the fact that this is an environment that is insane. It is very difficult to predict what will happen next year, let alone in 5 years' time. And remember, when we take strategic investment decisions, capital investment decisions, those are long term. And it's interesting to see now what long term means in terms of capital investments. Guys, and then also the idea that we will have change. For me, it's this the paradoxes. We have this paradox that people still want petrol, but they also want diesel. We have hybrids, we have hydrogen. There are so many contradictions, there's so many opposites in the environment, and it is quite a tough place to be a strategic leader, in particular when you're in a high technology environment. Technology changes so rapidly, and the truth is you might not be backing the right horse. And the truth is, when I read the case study, I'm not sure that they're backing the right horse. I think hydrogen has a bigger future than electric, but again, it's just based around some of the honors research that I'd read that my students had done. Guys, and then the last one, it is knowing the difference between and the intricacies of finance and marketing and operations. It's great to have a vision, but if you don't know whether you can build the vision, if you don't know whether you can source it in terms of supply chain, it becomes a real challenge. Any questions on that one? I don't think there's any dramas with that. Okay, we'll go to the second one. Right. Then we look at critically discuss the relevance of the upper echelons theory. Again, guys, you'll see that I've given it there. Learning Unit 3, Theme 3, Slide 16, and you can see the page numbers over there. So we're on the same set of slides. The upper echelons theory is based around the idea of the supposed great man theory, where in the great man theory, we tend to think that everything that happens in an organization, from a strategic, from a change, from a move in and an adjustment in direction perspective, that it comes from one all powerful being. And we see Apple very much at different points in history, but in particular, when we had Steve Jobs there, we had this great man approach. Elon Musk is part of that kind of great man. Every decision, every change in direction seems to come from him. Now, in terms of the upper echelons theory, I think it it is where we have this executive accountability. And when we talk about accountability, it means when things go wrong, you will be held liable. But when things go right, it's obviously the one person that everyone will revere. Guys, it also talks about your performance in the organization as a dependent variable, and the independent variable would be specifically the behavior of your strategic leader. So we can see organizational performance, we can see the kinds of financial measures that there are. Obviously, there are also customer satisfaction measures. And if you look at human measures, whether people are learning and whether people are staying, that we don't have high turnover. So there are lots of those kinds of measures in terms of the organizational performance. But the independent variable will be the behaviors from the leader, the strategic leader, in terms of the decision, in terms of the guidance, in terms of the direction that the organization will go in. Again, in a modern world, very difficult for one person to be the superhero and everyone simply follows behind. Again, tied back to the great man theory. Any questions, any comments around that one? Everyone okay with that one? Guys, and please do me a favor. when you do this, just listen to the recording and listen, do the question, go to the second question, listen to the recording, do the question. I think it works quite well, in particular in cases where it's a bit confusing. Not that I will not confuse you anymore. Any questions on that one, or can I move on? Okay, thanks, Charles. Thanks, Tyler. Right, guys, so the third question over here, please don't mix these up. It's at the end of the question. If we look at Learning Unit 2, slides 22 to 27. Right. Yeah, slide 22. So generally, when we talk about transformational leadership, it really is the ability of the leader to be admired, to create enthusiasm, to create an energy. We talk about the transformational leaders as being surrounded by this invisible power and this invisible source to get other people excited. And what transformational leaders will do is, in particular during change times, is they're able to get people to achieve way more than what they normally could. So transformational leaders has this ability to excite and motivate and get people to perform way beyond what they would have believed they could do. In terms of transformational leaders, I think we know that from an organization perspective, we talk about adaptivity, an adaptive organization. Sorry, I'm creating words there. An adaptive organization, the truth is, when we think adaptive organization, we think an organization that is light on its feet, that is able to bob and weave and move with the times and do so seamlessly. Remember, guys, we spoke about strategic fit and strategic flexibility. Strategic fit, that moment in time where what the organization has in terms of its vision and its mission statement and objectives and its behaviors and everything that happens internally perfectly matches the environment. Strategic flexibility is that ability to maintain fit as the environment changes. So it adjusts with and in step with the environment. We also talk about a futurist that gives us a compelling vision. Again, Steve Jobs, a wonderful example. Elon Musk, despite all the insanity, guys, he is an astonishing futurist. He is this person who has the ability to see things in the future that other people couldn't imagine. Now, I know that he sometimes has gone sideways, and again, looking at his tweets about Donald Trump and and the idea that Kamala Harris, that he's surprised that she's not had an assassination attempt on her. I just wonder if his mind is now getting cooked by all the cannabis use. But he does see a different future. We saw it with Tesla, the vehicle. We saw it with space travel. We saw it with the idea of the a Starlink, which will be sort of low, what is it, satellite internet that will be provided and hopefully will come to South Africa very soon. And then just, we've spoken about this before. We see that these people have the ability to display idealized behaviors. We spoke about how Nelson Mandela serves as a wonderful example of this particular aspect of the model. Released from prison after 27 years and decides to forgive. If that was me, my gosh, I would go on a hunt. Inspirational motivation gets a ragtag bunch of not even professional rugby players who had no chance to win the 1995 World Cup. Intellectual stimulation, remember, and again, it's from the movie Invictus, the wonderful example of where you had security police, white security police, who prior to his release would have arrested him on the spot, and immediately after his release and him being assigned a series of bodyguards. He requests that he gets some of those old policemen to protect him, guys. And then we'll remember again individualized consideration. I shared the story of how he went to the opening of some sort of hall, and how he greeted each of the dignitaries and walked to the back of the hall to meet every single one of the cleaners. And he treated each of those cleaners who literally made the day possible as a dignitary, guys. And then just idealized attributes. I think this is a person that had a wonderful vision, a wonderful role to play in the world, guys. And then just transactional leadership. Remember, I used the example of how when you were younger, your parents would say to you, if you want to go out, you would have to do your homework, or you would have to clean your room. So it is about a give and take, and it's a transaction in terms of you provide me with these behaviors, this is the reward that you will get. And then, yeah, we spoke about these contingent reward. It's giving people certain things to achieve, and then as they achieve it, the rewards will come. Management by exception. Here, it is the line of sight between behavior and reward that is very, very clear. The passive one is the one that I don't particularly like. It is where you actively go and catch people doing something wrong. And that is a real problem with that approach. And I've done that as a bit of a comparison, but it's not the best slide ever. And you can see in the pages, wherever it is, guys, it's that one there, 116 to 117. Any questions about that one? Everyone okay with that one? Sure. The class has grown quite nicely. Okay, that's fantastic. Wonderful, guys. Okay, we move on to the next one. Is it this one? Yeah, obviously is. Right, so here we look at authenticity and, yeah, the characteristics of an authentic leader. So it is Learning Unit 3, Theme 4, slides 11 to 12. You can see the pages there. Why did I not include that? Sorry, can I just see why I didn't? Oh, it's the characteristics, I think, is the question. Let me just make sure. 5 main dimensions. Okay. Yeah, that's why I excluded that slide. Come on. Right. So in terms of the 5 dimensions, guys, it really summarizes well in terms of that particular slide. Okay, so when we look at the dimensions, it starts with the idea of a clear purpose, and it is about having a passion about that purpose. I think when we see successful people, they incredibly passionate about what they do. They believe in what they do. They believe in that purpose. They have that clear sense of mission in terms of their contribution to the world. The second one, it's about having really strong values, but those are values that are based on what is good for society, what is right, what is wrong, and a clear distinction between right and wrong. I think what happens with authentic leaders is that they don't operate in gray areas where, well, maybe there's a clear sense of this is okay, this is not okay. And then because of the authenticity, you will have relationships that will last forever. I've seen authentic leaders leave an organization and people follow that person, or people resign from an organization for an opportunity, but will come back because of the relationships that were created. And then it is about self-discipline. It is about sticking to the rules that they set. It is about making sure that in every aspect of their life, there is a clear sense of self control, self discipline. And then lastly, it is about passion and leading from the heart. It summarizes into that one there, and you can see, guys, the kinds of things that will link to that. Okay. Any questions on that one? I think we should be fine with that, guys. And then lastly, this guy here, relevance of distributed leadership. So this is the opposite of that kind of great man approach that I spoke about earlier. Where is it? Learning Unit 3, Theme 1. And I didn't look at which slides they are. Slides 13 to 16. Right, so you'll remember when we looked at distributed leadership, it's the idea that flies in the face that you have this one great leader and that this one great leader has the ability to guide the organization in its entirety. Again, the sort of upper echelons approach, the great man approach. And I use the term great man because it is often considered to be that. But the truth is that often to maximize what you can out of the talent within an organization, you need to distribute leadership. Also, organizations have become so incredibly complex that it is near impossible for one person to look after every single part of the organization, all the vagaries within the organization. If we look at distributed leadership, then I think the first one, it's not about the individual. It is about a sense that everyone is a leader across the entire organization. And it's about relationships, it's about interactions, and it's about the situation that you are empowered enough to deal with whatever situation you face. And it really is the idea that we are moving away from traditional leadership simply because of how complex organizations are. Right. And then also, I think we have to acknowledge the existence and the contribution of individual leaders, but it's not all that matters. Again, the complexity doesn't allow one person to make this massive difference anymore. And I think it is rather this notion here, the practice of leadership, and everyone will combine in terms of creating synergy, creating an overall desirable result, guys. And then just we see here that it's about interaction, and it also really is about the social process. It is about we're in this boat together. We need to build some sort of organization that is to our benefit. And then I can't remember what slides I said. Hold on. 13 to 16. There it is. Okay. Golly. Any questions on that one? Everyone okay with that? Guys, please remember that we mark according to the rubric. I copy this rubric across into my document or into VC Learn, and I mark on the basis of that. The different questions are there, and see the different criteria. The presentation, we need to talk about that presentation. There's no way with the class size that I have that we can do individual presentations. It's not going to work that way. I'm quite happy that we do voice over PowerPoints again. Is everyone okay that we do that again as we did in first semester? Voice over PowerPoints, okay. Yeah, I can't, guys. There are just too many people to get to do a presentation. It's impossible. We don't have the time for that. So it's voice over PowerPoints. The voice over PowerPoints, I think you can load them on the WhatsApp group for me, please. They can be loaded on the WhatsApp group, and then I will use this particular rubric. Please make sure that everyone contributes to the presentation. Also, please, guys, make sure that you do your peer evaluation. I generally don't care to see a peer evaluation if everyone had contributed always, but if you have people that aren't pulling their weight, then submit this. But generally, if you don't submit this, I assume that everyone had contributed. I don't like the idea of this. I only want to see it if somebody is not pulling their weight. Are we okay with that in terms of an approach? If I don't see this, I give 5 to everyone. Okay. It forces the groups to sort themselves out, guys. I don't get involved, and truthfully, when I get involved, I'm often unpleasant. So we want to avoid that. The one thing that they've done really nicely, or what I've asked, and it's happened, is that we now only have a group part of the assignment and not an assignment which, yeah, there's an individual component, which is bloody stupid, if you ask me. So the way forward, and I am going to record this because last time people, oh gosh, just got confused. I need to receive the PowerPoint presentation a maximum of, does it give us a guideline in terms of time here? I'm going to say a maximum of 15 minutes, between 10 and 15 minutes. Everyone okay with that? Yeah, thanks, Tuli. Yeah, I don't look at things like that. Maximum of 15 minutes. Okay, between 10 and 15 minutes would be fine by me. Everyone has to contribute. If one person doesn't talk, then that person has to be given the editing or the final putting together the document. Every team has to have a team leader. Every group has to have a group leader. Only the group leader will upload the presentation. Please make sure that you include the names of people who had contributed to the presentation on the first page, and only the team leader or the group leader will upload the actual assignment as well, with the names of the different contributors there. So I want to see one assignment per group. There are 2 components. The first component would be a normal typed assignment. The second component that you'll upload separately from the first typed assignment will be your presentation. Okay, last time people, yeah, were quite confused about those 2 things. Okay, so this is the typed assignment, and then based on your typed assignment, you will then do a presentation, and that would be uploaded to the WhatsApp group. This is uploaded to VC Learn only by the team leader, only by the team leader. Okay. Any questions, guys? Sorry, I'm quite prescriptive, but it was quite a mess in first semester, and I'm not having that. Okay, Walter. That's it, Mark. That's it. But okay. So I'm going to stop the recording, and then we must just chat quickly.